Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show with local celebrity hosts Steve-O and Renee. Sit back each week while Steve-O and Renee educate you with live in-studio experts, such as lawyers, doctors, home improvement, and financial experts in their field. Call in and have your questions answered each week at 888-565-1470. Now, here is Steve-O and Renee with today's expert in their field.
I'm going to say good morning because I'm so tired of saying good afternoon every week.
Are you still sleeping?
Hey, good afternoon. You are tuned into the Ask the Expert show with my co-host Renee. My name is Steve-O. We've got another great show today.
Changing it around a little bit over there.
Yeah.
I see that.
That scare you?
No, you're putting my name first, which you should do anyway.
Okay, you got a deal. We have, well, first of all, this all started, we used to get so many emails about asking about water damage and mold and mildew removal.
Well, it's a huge thing for South Florida. It really is.
What's so important about it is you never know when it's going to happen. It's always an emergency. And then you got to go, who do I call? And then about 50 years ago, you used to go to the Yellow Pages and see who had the biggest ad. Can't do that anymore. There is no Yellow Pages. Now, people go on Google, which is crazy because it doesn't matter who's
Well, you need
first.
you need a reputable company.
So we have probably one of the best mold and mildew, water damage, smoke and fire removal company on here.
He does it all.
That's it.
And before I introduce him, you can watch today's show by going to www.wwnnradio.com. When you get to the homepage, on the left-hand side, it says WNN TV. Click there, and you can watch our show live today. Today, we're going to talk about water damage restoration. The name of the company is Secure Restoration Services. We have the owner. We don't just have, like, one of the employees.
We have the big macha.
We have the owners. So
Yes.
You're going to hear it right from... it's weird saying
The horse's mouth.
Zach doesn't live on the horse. Zach Brock. Hey,
Welcome
Zach.
to the show, Zach.
Hey, thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
Last month was your first show, and we got so many emails going, thank you for bringing us a mold and mildew show. But the only thing is, they said we scared them a little bit, especially the snowbirds who leave. A lot of them said they were leaving, and they were turning up the heat.
Well, turning the air down,
Yeah, that's the same thing.
which is not a good thing to do.
Definitely not, causes big problems like we talked about last time. Raising that humidity inside the apartments can cause mold growth throughout the unit, even without a water leak or any type of a roof leak, anything like that.
So
Which
you
is
think
crazy.
you're
So I think-
saving money, but
and
you're
I would
really
think the
not.
majority of these people do that, though.
Quite a few of them do. And
Well, if you have a question for Zach, you could call us at 888-565-1470, whether you have mold and mildew question or water damage restoration or even fire and smoke.
absolutely, please call any questions that you have. More than happy to answer anything you've got.
Tell us about your company.
Well, we were formed in 2010. We specialize in water damage removal, floods, mold and mildew removal, fire and smoke damage. We also do reconstruction for any of those repairs.
Would you explain that? Because I saw that on your website about the reconstruction.
Absolutely. We don't just do general construction for folks that are out there on regular construction projects, but anytime that we've come in and we may have to remove wall cladding, sheetrock inside your home, baseboards, things like that. You could have a whole kitchen that has to be removed from a flood or a fire. We can help you put that back together. So we're a one-stop shop for you. You don't
Which
have
is wonderful. So if you have a flood in the kitchen, you have mold and mildew or water damage, you could come in and redo the whole entire kitchen.
Absolutely.
Love it.
We'll bring in the plumbers, the electricians, everybody that we've got great relationships with. You don't have to try and be your own general contractor on a job.
Which nobody wants to do.
It's a big headache, and unfortunately, a lot of people who try that, it doesn't turn out too well. So we've had a lot of success here in South Florida by building up, the trust that we have and are building up our reputation as being one of those companies that not only comes in and does it all, but does it all really well and treats people fairly.
I want to reiterate again, when you have water damage, it's always an emergency, isn't it? It's never just, oh, by the way, I have a little water damage. I'll get to it tomorrow. You need to get to it right away.
Even if you have a small leak, even from your roof. So tell people what could happen.
Roof leaks are one of the most common ones down here in South Florida, especially on some of the older homes that you've got here as these roofs get older. Roof leak, if you don't treat it, you can have big problems. That water will come into the attic. It'll get into the insulation, sit in the insulation on the backside of the sheetrock.
Right.
You're going to start growing mold. You might think that it's a little tiny brown stain at the top of the ceiling, no big deal. What's going on in your attic is a whole nother story.
It's a scary thought.
Absolutely.
And how about, see, we have an air conditioning unit that's in our attic. So if there's a leak from that and it goes through the ceiling, would that cause mold and mildew?
Some of the biggest mold jobs that I've done, and we've done some couple $100,000 mold jobs, huge commercial jobs, have been the result of air conditionings in the attic.
So is this why I have sinus problems? It could be.
It very well could,
The
because what
mold
happens...
and mildew could be responsible for me being this nasal. Because
You
I
know what?
typically don't sound this nasal.
Can I tell you something?
What?
We got to talk to Zach because we've had 2 leaks, major. Now,
Well, they weren't major, but it doesn't. What Zach
hey,
is saying, it
they
doesn't.
haven't us, they're major.
Okay, it doesn't have to be major for there to be water damage or mold and mildew.
Sure. I mean, it doesn't. You don't have to be standing in 2 inches of water in your whole house to have had a major water event. Something that would qualify as a major water event would be like you're talking about, the air conditioning pan in the attic overflowing.
Which happens to everyone.
Nobody sticks their head in the attic to check the drip pan.
That's right.
No way.
You don't go up there unless it's time to get the Christmas decorations out or something like that. So you're
Zach,
going to
I don't
have
even
something
put those up there.
that's overflowing into your attic, constantly dripping, coming down into the walls. It can come down and damage flooring because it'll travel in between the wall cavity. It's big problems like that. And not only that, if those AC units, a lot of times they don't get maintained because they're out of the way.
So not only do you have water damage, but you also have mold and mildew. So would you have to replace? I mean, if you have a slight leak from the ceiling from the water, do you have to replace the sheetrock on the ceiling?
Depends on how fast you catch it. In a climate like ours, where it's very hot and humid, you've got to be drying whatever is wet within 48 hours. Otherwise, you're growing mold. So
We're growing mold.
Oh, I know. I'm not
That's
sleeping
not
there
good.
tonight. I'm going to the Romo Motel tonight. No way. So tell us, what do people do? Because we have a lot of homeowners. What should they start looking for? And we're going to talk most about water damage today, but it kind of goes hand in hand with the mold and mildew. What should they look for?
Well, one of the first things to remember is a lot of this will end up being covered by your insurance company. Most water damage claims are. However, most claims have a caveat to them where you've got to respond and report it in a certain amount of time.
What's the
So
time
if
frame?
you see it, typically 14 days. So if you see any of these signs that we're going to talk about, don't wait, don't delay. You've got to give us a call. Let us come out because we can assist you through the whole process. But if you wait too long, even if it would have been a covered claim, you're going to risk having that denied because you
that's
didn't
right.
treat it.
So do they cover everything? Do they? I mean, like if say you have a bathroom leak.
Bathroom leaks typically covered.
Okay.
Every insurance company is a little bit different. One of the things that people need to start being aware of is recently a lot of insurance companies have started excluding roof leaks, which people don't know, and they're just signing these big old policy documents. You need to be very careful.
I
as
thought they covered that. Not anymore.
A lot of them do, but about half of them right now in the state of Florida don't. So it's something that customers need to be informed of, and when they're shopping, when they're renewing those policies, you want to make sure that not only do you have a policy that's going to cover you for all of these water damages or potential water damages,
Right, of course.
but also going to cover you for mold and mildew if you have that.
So they do
That's
go hand in
scary
hand though,
because-
because if you leave the water sit there, then typically you're going to have mold and mildew anyway.
Yep, if that water is not extracted and dried within 48 hours, you are growing mold. And so some of the signs that people are going to want to look at, if you're talking about a roof leak, look for separation in your ceiling sheetrock. If you're starting to split a little bit along the seams, if you see any little brown spots, something like that might just be indicative of discoloration at the top of that, it's typically from water coming in from a roof leak. One of the best places to look, and nobody ever does, underneath your bathroom or your kitchen sink.
No, I had a leak under there. I told you.
Yeah, you've got drain lines under there, supply lines, you've got a dishwasher hookup, garbage disposal, so many potential sources for water leaks. And people typically have that so full of stuff, trash bags, cleaning chemicals, things that are going to be
So
there
you don't even look for that.
that you're not seeing even the bottom of the cabinet when you open it up. You got to open that.
So what do you look for?
You want to look for, one, if you've got any puddled water that's going to be there. Cracking and damage to the actual cabinet itself is a sign that it may be getting wet and drying. Those are the main things that you're going to look for. And if you're looking at your valves and your piping back there, anything that just looks like discoloration or looks like it's aging.
We have a white
So-
bowl in our bathroom. It's full of water. Maybe we should check.
A white bowl, it's a toilet bowl, buddy.
But so you do water inspection, right?
Absolutely. We will come out and we will take a look at your home. We'll use tools like infrared cameras that let us see temperature differentials so we can actually see behind your walls, see into your ceilings. And the temperature differential lets us look and see if there's a potential water intrusion that's there.
I thought only Superman could do that.
Well, we are Superman
I
in the
know, I
water
see that.
mitigation
What do you
business.
normally charge for that?
That inspection normally runs about $350. But for all the customers that are coming,
This is great. I love this.
as a part of this show, if you call and mention that you heard about us on Ask the Experts, it's free.
Wow, I love that.
That's like
That's
found
fabulous.
It is.
Yep. We'll
That's
come
a
out.
great offer.
We'll inspect the property. We'll give you a written report. We're going to tell you what's wrong. We'll walk you through it while we're there and show you if we found any moisture. Hopefully, we'll be able to tell you, hey, you're fine. But if not, we'll be able to tell you how to address it and what to do.
And remember, if you do have a water problem, even if you don't know about it, the insurance companies don't care. If it goes past 14 days, they could
You
deny
have
that
to
claim.
report that immediately.
So it is best to get secured restoration services out there. Let Zach send his people out there. And
Just to check.
yeah, I mean, you were crazy. I mean, you just tell them that you heard it on the Ask the Expert show. Doesn't cost you a dime.
So
now,
let me
you do
just
have
ask
to
you
pay
what-
for his gas, which is
course you do.
$950 to get out there.
Gas has gone down. It's now 9.25. So I had a leak in my bathroom. I wiped everything up, and my kids have been coughing since then. Is it my imagination, or could something be brewing in that bathroom?
First question, where did the leak come from? Did it come from like a drain pipe
toilet.
in the toilet bowl
Yeah.
itself?
Yeah.
There's different types of water leaks. You've got what's called a Category 1 water leak, which is clean water, comes from a supply line,
How do you know it's
something
clean?
that you could drink. Like
You
if
put
it was
your finger
if it
and
was-
you look, you
if it
just
was your
taste it.
if it was your
Try it.
faucet. Say if it was your faucet,
Right,
something
right.
that you would be able to drink.
Okay.
Anything that comes out of a drain pipe is what's called, the EPA classifies it as Category 3 water. If you think about where that water is going,
That
it's
doesn't
going
sound
down
good,
to the
Zach.
sewer, right?
Right.
When it backs up through there, you're bringing in E. coli, all types of.
So wait. The toilet?
Yes.
Wow.
If it comes from your toilet bowl that's going, when you flush it, it's going down to the drain.
Right.
You have bits of raw sewage particles that will come back up there.
Ivy. This is bad.
It's so serious that the guidelines in the industry are, if that's touching any building material that's porous, baseboard, sheetrock, things like that, it can't even be dried.
So wait a
It
second.
has to be removed.
Zach, so we had the toilet replaced. I had a leak. The toilet was replaced. So can it seep under the tile and get into the grout and everything else?
Absolutely. You can get under your tile, under your grout, if the water touched your vanity, which
It
chances are.
did. Of course it did.
That's probably made out of wood. According to the guidelines for the industry, Category 3 water touches it, something on a sewer backup, it's got to be disposed of because there's no
the
way
whole bathroom?
anything that it touched that's porous material, like
think we should
the
level the
vanity.
house.
your
Listen,
baseboard.
level it.
Listen, it touched the kids. I'm getting rid of that one.
But it definitely can make your children sick because they're being exposed to all of this bacteria. It's something that's extremely serious. When we respond to a sewage loss like that, you're going to see our guys in there. We're wearing hazmat suits. It's
Wow.
not a joke.
Wow. That's crazy.
You know, we need to go to break. Zach, give everybody your phone number to make if they want to call
Absolutely.
you up. And
If you want to take advantage of this offer here for the Ask the Experts listeners, it's 561-360-2171.
I got to say something else. Write this number down anyway, because again, you never know when you're going to have water damage. There's no
Or a
warning.
leak. Everybody has leaks.
Sure.
So give them the number one more time.
When your water heater bursts or your AC starts leaking, you don't want to be flipping through the phone book. You want to
No.
know a trustworthy company to call. And the
Exactly.
number for the best out there is 561-360-2171.
Okay, we're going to go to break. When we come back, we have more water damage talk with Zach Brock. We'll be right back.
Secure Restoration Services is proud to be chosen the expert for the Ask the Expert show in the areas of water damage restoration, mold, mildew removal, as well as fire and smoke damage. They are licensed and insured. Secure Restoration Services deals with emergency mold and water damage. They are dedicated to preventing and removing the dangers of mold. You need to keep your family and your pets safe from harm's way. So if you feel you might have mold building up in your home, call the professionals at Secure Restoration Services at 561-203-3733. Secure Restoration Services are mold and water damage experts, providing mold inspection, mold testing, mold removal, and flood damage restoration in Palm Beach, Boca Raton, Delray Beach, Jupiter, and surrounding areas. They are dedicated to nothing short of excellence in their restoration work, which has given them the outstanding reputation for quality and customer service that sets them apart from their competition. Secure Restoration Services has the knowledge and experience to effectively handle any size home or commercial building, and they do it in a professional and friendly manner. Call them now at 561-203-3733 or go to their website at www.securerestorationfla.com.
And we're back.
We are.
Wow,
back.
this is kind of a scary show. You know? Like, what if you have, let's say something has happened to your children from the mold and mildew? What do you look for?
Well, first of all, if you're really concerned about it and your kids are having these signs, you need to consult a physician immediately.
Okay.
There's no
I mean, is it
substitute.
coughing? Is it...
Signs of exposure to mold and mildew or to this bacteria, which would come from the Category 3 loss, your
Yes,
sewage that we
yes.
talked about, could be coughing, respiratory issues, headaches, nausea, vomiting, general feeling of unwellness, lethargy. It's serious
It's really
stuff.
No
serious.
kidding.
Let me ask you something. If you call your insurance company, do you have to use who they recommend, have them send their people out, or you could call your own person?
You should always call your own person, and here's why. The insurance company's got preferred list of vendors, but the insurance company, and it's part of their business model, they want to get the work done, but they want to pay as little as possible. They're in business to make money, right? So they're going to send somebody out, and they're going to tell them how long they can dry your house for, sometimes what they can do to dry your house, and that company is going to be trying to get out of there as fast as possible. That's not the right
The
way to do
No,
minimums.
it's
it.
not.
They're going to...
They're gonna
So what do you do when you call the insurance company if they say we want to send out our professionals? You just say, I have somebody that I want to use?
You tell them, I've already called Secure Restoration Services.
Perfect.
It's handled.
And they have to allow that.
And they have
So
to allow you
they
to
could
do
do
that.
that work themselves. They don't have to use anybody.
You don't have to use what the insurance company does as far as emergency services. Some carriers have a right in their policy to actually do the repair work, but as far as the emergency services, getting rid of the mold, getting rid of water damage, things like that, drying out the property, you actually have a duty in your policy to
See, I would
mitigate
feel
damages.
more secure using Secure Restoration.
We have a caller.
We do. Who do we have?
Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
We're doing... Well, we
doing
were
good.
doing fine until we start talking about all the horrible things that can happen to you if you've got mold and mildew. But we've got the best here in studio. You have a question for Zach?
I have experience using the City. I've used Mr. Brock and his company. First of all, I'm a lawyer in Fort Lauderdale, so I see a lot of these mold remediation companies just for my business because I do property damage lawsuits as part of my as part of my business. But unfortunately, I had for my own house, I had property damages in my master bedroom last year up in Boca Raton. And I had mold throughout my master bedroom, and Zach's the best in town, no question. He came in, he basically ripped off that part of my house, and was able to remove all the mold. I was able to get paid by the insurance company, and it was smooth, it was fast, and it took, I don't know, no more than, I think a month to get rid of the entire problem.
Wow. That's
Jeff,
a great
wait, Jeff,
testimonial.
you're a claims attorney, right? Insurance claims attorney?
That's right. I am a claims lawyer, and I represent policyholders as part of my business. So as I say, I mean, I've used some of them.
So we know he got paid for the job.
No, but what I was going to say is,
I
you know the best.
I've been able to yeah, I mean, I've seen what other homeowners have used, and I know what I've done personally. There's just no question that he's the best in town.
That's why I said that's a
Wow,
great
that's a nice-
testimonial from an
yeah.
insurance litigator.
I know that's really nice, Jeff. So Zach
Well, it's
did.
true.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said it's true.
So Zach did the work for you. You were pleased with it, and this is like coming from an attorney who handles claims, so he knows the companies that do well and the ones who don't.
That's correct.
Wow, that's great. You know who this is?
Absolutely, Jeff. Thanks for calling in today, and thanks for giving us that good word there about the services. It was an absolute pleasure working with you, and we're happy we were able to get a positive resolution to your claim there.
Of course.
Hey, give everybody the name of your firm. I'll throw that out there.
We'll plug you.
Jeff,
Sorry? Yeah?
what's
What's
the
the
name
name
of
of
your?
your law firm? We'll give you a plug on the radio for calling in.
Oh, thank you so much.
What's the name of your firm?
Oh, it's Jeffrey Edelman, PA.
Okay.
We're in downtown Fort Lauderdale, and we have a full-service commercial and civil litigation law firm right across the street from the courthouse.
That means he's a bulldog.
And we handle, you name it, we do it. A variety of, whether it's property damages, whether it's auto fraud, whether it's construction disputes, real estate disputes, any number of different types of cases.
Okay.
We
Hey,
handle.
thanks so much, Jeff,
Thanks
for
for
calling
calling in, Jeff.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me
Take care.
on the radio.
Have a great day, Jeff.
All right, you too.
What about these people? I was just thinking, Publix. These people try to do this themselves when they have water damage.
That's a big mistake.
Yeah, I would
There's
think
certain
so.
things in life that you can do yourself.
That's not one of them.
That's not one you should do. If you do it wrong, the ramifications, not only to your property, but to your personal health and the health of your family, it's
It's
not,
a very serious
it's
issue.
not like if you went to cut the grass and you cut it a little too short.
Right.
I like that analogy.
It'll grow back. Here, if you don't dry your house properly or have it dried properly,
There's serious
you're going
repercussions.
to have mold.
Yeah.
You're going to have damage. And if the insurance company is going to be covering the cost of doing this, why wouldn't you have a free expert, someone who's trained and licensed to do this, come do it and completely remove that risk from you, and you know that it's done right?
So some people think if they spray bleach, and we discussed this last time. So if you, because I always think that if I spray bleach on everything, everything goes away. But that's not the case. What happens if you spray bleach on?
Bleach is great in your shower and your sink, but
Okay.
that's where it really needs to stay. When it comes to treating mold or a result of this water damage, it's not going to kill it. Bleach is 97% water when they manufacture it, and it goes down as it sits on the shelf. So by the time you're actually pouring it or spraying it onto whatever surface you've got it after it's been sitting in your home for 6 months, it's 99% water, 1% chlorine. All you're doing is discoloring it and giving it a really good meal.
Wow. Let me ask you another question. So if you have, say a leak or a flood in your house, how long does it take for you to come in and dry out the house? I mean, I'm talking about the carpeting, and typically it would affect the carpeting as well.
A typical dry out will run about 3 days. Sometimes it'll run as much as 5 days.
And then you come check for mold as well, because if it's the water's sitting there, even if you dry that. So you have to dry out pretty quickly.
Absolutely. You want to be drying out within 24 to 48 hours. That's why if this happens at 1 o'clock in the morning, don't wait till 9 to call us. Our crews are on standby 24 hours a day.
They are, so you pick up the phone 24 hours?
24 hours a day, every day, Christmas Day, New Year's, 365 days a year. You call us. We are coming to respond to the problem.
Wow, that's
Don't wait till the
impressive.
next day.
So at 2 o'clock in the morning, if I have a pipe that's leaking, I could call you?
Countless times I've gotten up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to somebody's house.
It's like a doctor.
You do what needs to be
I'm
done in this
impressed,
business,
Zach.
because once that damage happens and that flood's occurring, that clock is ticking. If you don't have that place dry within the time period, and if you haven't started drying quickly, you're going to get mold.
Right.
So calling us out fast prevents further damage.
So if you have carpeting and you have a flood, and then obviously under the carpeting there's padding,
Sure.
so you dry that out as well? Everything's dried?
Depends on how wet it got. A lot of times the pad itself will be removed and the carpet will be dried because the pad's very inexpensive to replace. And again, you're working against the clock. We don't want to take 4 days drying a pad, because pad is really a very thick sponge. Holds a lot of water.
So you covered for that though?
Absolutely.
What if someone has a condo, you're living below, and there's a water leak and it comes down into your condo? Who's responsible?
Steve, I can't tell you how many times I've seen this. Of course, South Florida being the condo capital of
Exactly.
the world. The reality of the situation is the person upstairs should be responsible.
You would
Right.
think.
However, most of the time, if it was a sudden and accidental leak and it can't be proven that that person actually did something deliberate, you've got to make a claim on your own homeowner's insurance. That's normally the best way to do it, even if they offer to come in and pay for the repairs or do whatever they're going to do. Report it to your insurance company so you're within the time frame, you're covered, and you let your insurance carrier deal with theirs.
Oh, okay.
How many trucks do you have?
We have 6 trucks.
Wow. Okay. And
So what counties do
yeah,
you
what
cover?
counties? That's what I was
We
going to
cover
ask.
Broward, Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Okeechobee counties.
Wow.
So he's all over the place.
Yeah. So all of our listeners in Martin County, we have like Stewart, and we have Jupiter. Those people, Zach covers your area. Give them your phone number again, and we also want give them your website too.
Sure, our phone number is 561-360-2171, and the website is www.securerestorationfla, like Florida.com.
Are there different kinds of molds?
There's all different types of mold, literally
Are
thousands.
they all toxic?
No, they're not. But all of them can have serious issues as far as respiratory and things like that. A lot of them are more allergenic than toxic. But that's still very serious. When you
Yes.
come into your home and you're getting all stuffy and your head's clogged up and you can't breathe and you're not sleeping
Right.
well, might not be killing you, but it sure is making
Making
your
you
home
miserable, yes.
uncomfortable.
How long does it take mold to grow?
Different types of mold grow at different speeds, but down here in Florida, we see mold growing within 48 hours.
You know, we haven't meant to try to scare anybody, but we have.
I'm
And
scared.
so, listen, Zach's offering, it's a $350 value. It's a water damage inspection. And if you tell him you heard about it on Ask the Experts, he's going to do it for free. I
Which is
you can't-
amazing.
and if
You
you
can't
have
get any
kid-
better than that.
If you've got kids out there, shame on you if you don't take advantage of this. Give them your phone number one more time.
561-360-2171.
And you also do mold testing as well.
We
and
do.
that's a big thing because, I mean, you want to know if you do have mold. and nobody
Absolutely.
else.
We can test and confirm. If you've got mold, we'll send the reports off to, or the samples off to a lab, and they're read by an accredited laboratory. Tells you exactly what type of mold you've got, how much of it you had, and it's something that if you or your kids have been getting sick, you can take it to your doctor and show them what you're exposed to. So it gives you the information to
Wow.
make an educated decision on what needs to be done for your health.
Yeah, so now you can stop giving your kids cough medicine every hour, thinking that they have a bad cough for the last
Thank you
3
very
years.
much. That's me that has that cough.
So people need to go back and think, hey, did they have a water event in their house that they thought wasn't a big deal? Did they have that AC leak a few years ago?
But the bottom line is that everybody has a leak at some point.
Absolutely.
Through the kitchen, their AC, the bathroom, everybody has a leak.
It's going to happen. How fast you respond to it determines the end result. Of that.
Exactly.
We,
Wow.
we got to get out of here. You know, I'm hearing thunder. Did you pray for rain last night by any chance?
I pray for rain all the time.
Listen, it's been so great having you on. Zach's with us every month.
Yes, he is.
And
And we love having him.
yeah, listen, you're so informative. You know what you're doing. Again, one more time, let's give out the phone number.
561-360-2171.
Perfect.
We're going to go to break. Zach will be back here next month, and we'll be right back.
Thanks for having me,
Thanks,
guys.
bud.
The Pankowski Law Firm, PLLC, is proud to have been chosen as the experts